Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. Just to say, I might cough a little more the way through this, so this isn't vodka, it is water. We'll get the music done to start with. The music that you will hear a few times, all the way through, will be a little old classic of mine, something I really loved as a young teenager, back 1976, I think it was, because the album came out called Year of the Cat, and it's by Al Stewart. This is a live version of a lot of his favourite songs. And so the two that you'll get, one called On the Border, which was the second single off the album Year of the Cat, and of course this one, Year of the Cat. You might have heard it before, it is fairly well known. Al Stewart actually is out there on tour at the moment, and I'm considering buying a ticket. Meanwhile, other things to discuss. We've got the Manchester United manager quiz for Kieran, because guess what? They've just got themselves a new manager. Talking of managers, Burnley have just got themselves a new manager. Talking of managers...
They haven't, really.
Talking of managers...
Got rid of them.
Not really. Talking of managers, Everton could do with a new manager. Talking of managers, Klopp's doing all right, isn't he? And so, you see, I put Wycombe's manager up there on the frame at the beginning. So that's good. Ainsworth, Super Ainsworth, Wycombe, we're getting there, aren't we? Which would you... Oh, and the other thing to discuss are free kicks. What's his name? Prowse. Yeah, I'll leave you to keep filling in the bits I miss out of his surname. And the other topic, if we actually get round to, is record signing success rate. As in all the guys that have been signed this year for incredible amounts, who has been a success and who has been a complete flop. Quiz. Quiz or Wycombe?
We always start with Wycombe.
Wycombe is then. Wycombe versus Sheffield Wednesday. Well, tense, nervous headache, trianidine, because I think that's what I really needed. That was the advert, by the way, Kieran. It was a tense, nervous game, and the Darren Moore, Sheffield Wednesday's manager, his excuse for Sheffield Wednesday not winning was the pitch looked dense.
As in the grass was long.
And that's why Sheffield Wednesday didn't play very well.
Either he means the grass is long or he means that the pitch was small.
The pitch looked dense. I've not heard. I mean, normally they blame referees, but the pitch looking dense is a new one on me.
I think he must mean that the pitch is small. Because I can't. Well, I mean, the grass being long would make sense because Wycombe aren't that particular kind of team, are they? But I mean, we played with a 5-back, didn't we? Did we not?
No. 4.
It's what the lineup made it suggest. What did we play with then?
4.
Well, you had Obita, McCarthy, Jacobson, Farino, and Tapazzoli all on there, so I just assumed it must have been 5.
Well, I think Obita was really playing up front.
Oh yeah, it says
he
Obita
played in
was left
front
wing.
of Jacobson.
Yeah, it says Obita was left wing. Fair enough.
Yeah. I have to say, we were lucky in some respects. Certainly, they were the better team. Okay, or so you think, in the sense of you always felt like they're going to get their chance. Their chance never came. Their nearest chance came. How many corners did they get? Any idea?
I just got rid of the thing.
Corners. They had 12 corners. Okay? 12 corners. And never scored from any. Although that isn't entirely true. They did actually score from one of them. Did you see the highlights?
Yeah,
Did you
it
see
looks like it was a goal.
Tafazoli's love making?
I couldn't tell. I mean, I imagine the ref did give it for that one. And I was trying to see if anything had happened to Stockdale in order to give a foul for that. But that didn't look very specific either in terms of whether it was a foul or not. So, quite honestly, I don't think it was a goal.
I thought it was a goal.
I think we got away with one.
If the ball hadn't gone in the net, they should have had a penalty.
I'd say no to that because I think it was both ways, and because it was both ways, they kind of cancel each other out, and it should be a goal. I think there's so much handsing of people in the box anyway.
Yeah,
that it's so difficult to tell, and I don't think that one you could particularly tell if it was one way or another. It certainly didn't look like it was Wednesday fouling the Wycombe player. So
I did watch all the corners after that and watch him, Tafazoli, and he didn't do it again. I wonder if he thought he'd got away with it. And
well, I mean, Wycombe don't normally do that sort of thing from corners. It's not normally how we defend them. We are normally like pretty good at not holding on to people. I mean, obviously, like we're physical because every team is, but we're not so explicit in how we hold on to people. We never go, "Oh, shouldn't do that, should he?" So maybe he was kind of forced into it by the Wednesday player. It might have been the Sheffield Wednesday player who started it, and then Tafazoli had to then go and do it himself. But either way, we were certainly lucky with that.
I think so. Apart from that, that was it from Sheffield Wednesday. Corners, that was it. And we know we've done our piece on corners before, where actually people do not score from corners very often. But teams are better at defending corners now than ever. And Wycombe certainly are. And every time they got a corner, all I thought was, great, that's more time being wasted, because they weren't going to score from a corner. And it was the only thing they did. Wycombe's back line four did everything. They did everything. And the people around me at the end of the game, when they said about man of the match, and they gave it to Abita, obviously for the goal, because everybody around me, Farino,
which is interesting.
To be man of the match, had to be. He was brilliant.
At
Kieran,
what? At what? Yeah,
his passing was pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
I was a bit surprised. He didn't belt it everywhere. He tapped it to the nearest player when he got the chance. But he was also not just sticking a boot in, he was getting in front of his man for the tackles. So the ball was coming in and he sort of got in there and passed it out to the nearest Wycombe player most of the time. And he was damn sure he was safe first.
So he just must have found some confidence from somewhere in order to play the football.
Yeah. I think he was man of the match. I was really impressed. And when they didn't give him man of the match, even the people behind me said, but Farino, why did he get it? And I agree. Why didn't he get it? I don't know. I don't know what he was supposed to do. But the other interesting thing is looking at the marks, people. Horgan got 7.9. They gave him the top mark, which was a bit of a shock because the only reason he didn't score was he didn't want to. He wouldn't take the shot, so he passed it. He didn't pass it through great skill and talent. He passed it because he didn't want to hit it.
Well,
Basically.
to be fair, I mean, for the goal, it was a better decision to pass, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but he was, yeah. Stockdale, they gave us 7.4, above average for Wycombe. Don't know why. I don't know what he did. I suppose you can say goalkeeping during corners, because there was nothing else for him to do. He didn't make a save, as far as I can remember, which was daft. Sheffield Wednesday flip. I think their fans have got a little bit to be worried about. Not a shot on target.
Do they not?
Apart from the goal from the corner.
They had 3 shots on target, apparently.
Did they?
Same as us, but they had 15 more shots and we had 6. So,
well, they were definitely sort of like more the ball, but they weren't. This was a Wycombe game through and through, just damn right fight, and Wycombe won the fight, and we kept them out. The back line kept them out and did a brilliant job. Gape was a little bit dodgy. Scowen, excellent. McCleary, he didn't get any. They didn't get the chances. Wycombe did not get chances. All right, it was never going to be that way. We were always on the back foot a bit. So that one goal, that one chance. What's interesting was it was a flick on by Vokes to Horgan, who crossed it to a beater. Interesting, because I reckon that was it. He got the lowest mark on here, Vokes, and that probably right in the sense that they did keep banging it up in the air for him, and I think he might have won one header, and that was the one that went to Horgan, who passed it across, and we scored the goal. So okay, give him a low mark. But he had a defender on him who could get higher. And so he never won a thing. But he won one. And the one he won led to the goal that we scored.
Was the crucial one, yeah.
And so how do you know, I don't know. How you judge that, really.
I think you do have to judge a player on their whole game. But well, we do anyway, and you do for the stats. But for a manager, they're going to judge them on the key moments, realistically, aren't they?
Yeah.
For him, anyway, because he's not going to be someone who's always winning headers or, playing unbelievable football. But if he gets you a goal or a key pass or an assist a game, then there's not a horrendous amount you can complain about.
Well, we always turn it the other way round, don't we? We always think Tafazoli should win all the headers, so that's not a problem. And Vokes should win all the headers, so that's not a problem. Well, other teams have got their Vokes and other teams have got their Tafazolis, so why should we win all of those fights? At some point in a few weeks' time, we'll probably do a little session on if you win the fights on individual parts of the pitch, does it win you the game? Because I've got a load of statistics about, if Vokes wins all of his fights, does it win Wycombe the game? I've got all the sort of details to do with this. But that is the way we often look at it, isn't it? That we will win those 2 fights. But in fact, Vokes didn't. But he did win one header, and it led to the goal. I thought they were disappointing. I think Bannon wasn't bad, but never given a chance. Never given a chance.
But he's the one who used to play in the Premier League for Aston Villa, so I've always found it a bit weird that he now plays in League One.
Yeah, he got a bit of abuse when he took the corners.
Did he?
Yeah, I guess simply because he's good. I mean, why bother take the mickey out of somebody who isn't a threat? You know, you don't, do you? You only take the mickey out of somebody who's a threat and doesn't score a goal. I thought, well, that was it, really. That was the summing up of the game. I don't know how else you put it, but Wycombe had a fight and Wycombe won the fight.
In front of 9,000.
9,000, yeah.
And a couple from Spain.
Yeah, there was a group of about, does it say how many?
It's about 50 to 70, isn't it?
Yeah, they were up. I was behind the goal and they were up in the left-hand stand, the little stand, just up there. And it was really, what was funny was they sang their own songs in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it was things like there's one that go, instead of, there was one that go, Wycombe, 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 like this. And so the guy's standing near me, so I go, Wycombe, 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 Wycombe. It didn't, yeah, anyway. And they were loud. These
yeah, I was just saying, I hope people weren't just taking the mick. They were actually.
Oh no, they were getting them going. I mean, they were very enthusiastic. They were
good,
jumping up and down. Where did they come? Why Spain?
They're
Spanish.
It's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
That I think just cover all things football. And everything. They went on a trip and came to Wycombe for whatever reason.
Well, they all had their scarves and their flags and everything.
Yeah, is it like I didn't think it was like the Wycombe, because Wycombe do have a Spanish Twitter account, I think, as well, and I've always wondered why.
But they've got them all over the world. We've got all these groups all over the world.
Yeah, like it's even in the Wycombe's like Twitter bio.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in Spanish, so maybe there's a link there somewhere.
Well, it was. They were very enthusiastic. They were very good, and they were appreciated. People clapped them. They were
Media Inglesa, their name, and they are a YouTube channel with about 330,000 subscribers.
Goodness.
They do cover all things football, and then they have a few. It's mainly Premier League stuff, to be fair, from what it looks like. And then there's just randomly a couple of Wycombe videos. But then there's not anything else from any other club.
Well, so, it's good that they came and we won. Then, really, they came all this way but. So I think that sums up that game. But looking around, of course, everybody else did what they were supposed to do. Apart from, we had Oxford lose, which don't really make any difference because they were as good as out of it anyway. So Rotherham won. MK Dons beat Morecambe, so they're all right. Ipswich lost more ground, not that they were in it really. Sunderland beat Cambridge 5-1.
Yeah, but Sunderland,
that wasn't good. That wasn't good. That's goal difference bombing along. And then, of course, we wanted Wigan to win a game. No. But at least they got a draw. Thank goodness they scraped a draw, because what that does to the table is that we end up in 6th place at the moment, but Sheffield have got a game in hand, but 1 point behind us. So in theory, whatever happens, we've got to win at Burton, whatever happens. Okay. But on Tuesday, Sheffield Wednesday go to Fleetwood, and they're going to have to play better than they played against Wycombe. If they lose to Fleetwood, they could be in trouble, or a draw at Fleetwood would give them 1 goal difference. Okay. And they then play on their last day Portsmouth. So Wycombe would have to beat Burton by more than Wednesday beat Portsmouth. So that's just playing with all those figures. But the clearest one is Plymouth.
Yeah.
Wycombe have got the same points as Plymouth, played the same games as Plymouth, but we're 2 goals behind Plymouth on goal difference. That's what puts Plymouth above Wycombe, is a +2 goal difference. Now, Plymouth have got to go.
They're at home.
They're at home to MK Dons. Now, that's a game that's going to be a bit of a bugger, because I can imagine neither are going to want to lose that, because MK Dons are fighting for 2nd place still. At the moment, they might not be if Rotherham win their game in hand, because then it might be out of their sort of system. But Rotherham have got to play Sunderland at Sunderland, and I think Sunderland will win that. So basically, what we're hoping is Wycombe have to win, beat Burton, and we want MK Dons to either draw or beat Plymouth.
Well, at the end of the day, we need one result to go our way.
And they haven't for how long?
Yeah. We need one result out of Plymouth or Sheffield Wednesday to go our way, and then it's in our hands. Because at the moment, it's not, is it, really?
No, it's not. It's not in our hands at the moment.
So we need 1 out of 3 games to be a positive result for Wycombe, and we win, and then we're all right.
But how crazy is we might not get in the playoffs with 83 points?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's like seasons before, you've had to get about 70, 75. 83 points, you might not get in. It's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, if you look in Division 2, say, at the points,
they're all on 70.
They're all on, yeah. I mean, how mad, yeah. I mean, 70 points and you're in the playoffs in there, and we could get 83 and we'd win the league.
Championship is the same. I mean, Sheffield United have 69 points and they're in the playoffs.
There you go. Anything else worth talking about, except the teams going down, of course, out of this division? Not really, other than to say, Crewe are out. None of the others are yet, are they? Well, that's not entirely true. Doncaster are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from that, Wimbledon, Gillingham, and Fleetwood.
Wimbledon probably are.
Fleetwood have got to play Sheffield Wednesday, and they're going to be fighting like mad, aren't they?
And then Morecambe also have to play Sunderland, so they'll be fighting as well.
Yeah. So, whereas we'll be playing
Burton, who are 16th,
who are in the middle of the table with nothing to fight.
Can't really move.
No. So maybe we've got the better one here. But
then we've played crap teams away from home a lot recently and cocked them all up. So
yeah. I just want to mention 2 other teams going down out of other divisions, though. One is there's a team going out of Division 2, out of the Football League, as of yesterday. Have you seen who that was? Oldham. They're in a dreadful state. The game was actually stopped yesterday. with 10 minutes to go, something like that, with all the fans on the pitch trying to get rid of the owners. And you think, oh, yeah, blame the owners, always blame the owners. I read a piece about their owners. Oh, my, Gordon Bennett. They have sacked so many managers that players included don't get games and are just sort of put in a hole somewhere because the owners don't like them. And they are from Dubai, the two owners, brothers, and one of them's in charge of the football and one's the chairman. So one's in charge of the players, who they get and who they don't, and is sort of, and the number of managers that have left saying they've actually left rather than be sacked, saying it should be up to me to pick the teams, not him. In other words, you got two brothers running a club who want to run it, who choose the team, and they don't. And one player complained, and he hasn't played for them since, and he was the captain and the best player on the pitch, and he hasn't played for months. And they're just running his contract down because he complained about the owners. He's out. And so what happened was they stopped this game with 10 minutes to go. And after about an hour and a half, they brought the players back on to finish the 10 minutes, and they lost. And so they're going out of the Football League. And that is the first team out of the original lineup of, was it 20 teams in the Premier League when it first started? Oldham were in there as one of the 20 teams, and they're now out of the Football League. Shocking. It is. It's poor. It's sad. We sell our clubs to anybody we fancy. Anybody who says they got any money. I think they bought it for a £5 or something. And
well, these teams get sold and people don't realise who they're dealing with, do they?
No, they own
people
nothing.
Are very good at lying.
Trouble is, they don't own anything, really, because now they're out. They're not going to get all the money that they were getting. And they've not got a football team left, and they don't own the ground either. There is nothing. They own nothing other than a name, actually. And Oldham are finished. Do you know they banned 3 season ticket holders? They got a letter or email saying you're banned, you're not allowed to come back for 3 years or something, because they didn't like the owners. So the owners banned them, even though they were season ticket holders. And since then, they've had to turn that round because by law, they haven't done anything wrong.
I was going to say,
exactly. But they think, these owners seem to think they can walk in there and say, you can't play. We'll have that 11 lineup. We don't want him coming because he made a comment about my name, so he's never walking in here again. And so on and so on. And he's being run like a, I'm not going to say it,
circus.
Oldham, are we ever going to see them again? So that's one, and the other is Derby that are on their way down.
I'm sure you're buzzing about that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pleased about that. Dead right, I'm pleased about that. Wayne Rooney, is he going to be the Everton manager next season?
No.
Frank Lampard, is he going to be the Everton manager come next season?
Even if they go down, I hope they keep Frank, because he evidently did a decent job with Derby in the Championship. But in saying that, Everton is a rubbish club in a lot of logistical senses. So I think him going there to begin with was a bit stupid.
Well, I think if he gets the sack from this one, you won't see him with a job again, will you?
No.
Other than Oldham, maybe.
He took 2 really silly jobs.
He did, didn't he?
Like Chelsea at the time, who couldn't actually buy anyone because of their transfer embargo. A Chelsea who just aren't going to be successful because they're up against Liverpool and City, who are just miles beyond anything anyone's ever seen. And then Everton, who are just a rubbish club. So I don't know why he's picked. I mean, if they go well, then fair enough, and we can say that you're a very good manager. But if they don't, then you're in the bin.
Yeah,
And he's going to be in the bin.
he's going to be in the bin. Frank, Oldham it is.
Like the Villa job that Gerrard took. Like Villa aren't going to go up; they're not going to go down. You know, if he does all right, then people will be okay with him doing.
Yeah,
that.
he just needs to. He needs to sit there, settle, doesn't he, Gerrard? He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to win the Premier League, does he?
No,
he doesn't need. He's not going to be fighting relegation.
All he needs to do is actually fight to get into the top 6 or 7, and if he does that, then people will be happy with him.
Well, he just needs to get above what they were.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean that's all he needs. What about the other one? Of course, is Burnley. What the flip's happened to Burnley?
They decided to become a football team again, didn't they? They actually look all right as well. They're above Everton now in the table. I know they've got a game in hand, I think, Everton, but
but
who's to say they'll actually win that?
I mean, who's that against Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah, Everton have got a tough end to the season, don't they? I think
Everton's is pretty awful, actually. If we look at Everton, have got Chelsea, Leicester. They then got Watford, but then they've got Brentford, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal.
So Arsenal, you wouldn't expect them to be, but I mean, who knows? Chelsea, obviously not. But they do have games in there that they can win.
Let's go for Watford 3, Crystal Palace 1. So that's 4, and Brentford, they might pick up another one. Say 5 points in there. Is there out of that lot?
I reckon because they are where they are, they might pick up 7. They might beat Leicester or something like that.
Okay, so we'll go for 7 then.
If they were to pick up 7, they would finish on
36.
36. Who have Burnley got? Burnley have Watford's Villa, Tottenham, Villa again.
Yeah.
And Newcastle. What they got Villa twice for? I know they missed a lot of games, but
I reckon there's about the same amount myself.
Well, maybe beat Watford.
Yeah.
They might beat Villa once.
Yeah, so 6 points.
They've got 6. And that would keep them up.
That would. With a better goal difference as well.
Better goal difference. They stay up by a point. So
I couldn't understand. Well, that's not fair. I could say I couldn't understand Everton's sort of, wasting time after 2 minutes because I thought a point ain't going to do them any favours. They needed to win that game, but we might come to that in a while.
Can we just point out, by the way, that Newcastle are 9th?
I know, and to be fair to our friend from Bournemouth, he's not done it by buying superstars, has he?
No. He's made not superstars, but good footballers out of the ones he's had.
It's there. I read this whole piece on Joe Linton, and I've mentioned it before that Wally, the manager beforehand,
Brucey,
he's working his way at ruining West Brom at the moment.
Yeah.
He played Joe Linton out of place, you see. He put him in the wrong position. Never stood a chance. You can't. I did think about in a week or two about doing a 11 versus 11 again. You remember we did sort of left footers versus right, about fullbacks versus forwards. If you had a whole team of 11 forwards playing a whole team of fullbacks, who'd win because of the way skills work, etc., and speed and different things. Well, Joe Linton, you see, he was never a centre number 9. He's never
No.
been a centre forward, and he was played as a centre forward. He came on for 10 minutes as a centre forward. He never stood a chance.
To be fair, he did play centre forward yesterday and scored 2.
And moved him. They moved him though.
Yeah.
During the game. Right. Okay. Shall we move on? We could do a whole piece on the Manchester United stuff, but we all know they're crap. We don't know much about the manager yet. They're all placing their hopes in him like they do every time they get somebody new, and they've been doing that since Ferguson left. And I'm not talking just about managers, but players as well. Okay, so we don't know. All we know is this guy is a tough guy and he'll get his way, hopefully, or so he hopes. He's never been a big success, has he?
Ten Hag has not been manager of that many particularly well-known teams.
What did I think?
He has been Ajax manager since 2017.
That's who I meant. Ajax. He got Ajax to the semi-final.
Oh, I see.
And therefore is considered a success. Well, I think that's a bit pushing it myself.
Well,
he's going to be walking into a job, okay, where next year he's got to at least get in the top 4. And he is not a top world manager, is he?
So, for one, his win rate at Ajax is 74%, which is very good, but it is also the Dutch league.
It is.
To get to a semi-final with Ajax in this day and age is actually very good, I feel, especially with the team he had.
One-off.
I know it was a one-off. And they did lose to Benfica this year, and they should not lose to Benfica. So he is one of these managers who is hyped up, and people don't quite understand why. It's just kind of similar with Rangnick at the beginning. People were hyping him up as kind of like the person who taught Klopp and Guardiola everything. And similarly with this bloke, everyone's like, "Oh, this guy brings out the best out of youth, plays the tiki-taka football that everyone loves to see." But just because he does that, and just because Rangnick wants to have this certain style of play, why would that work at Manchester United? With the players they have, it won't, and it wouldn't.
I don't know.
I know Rangnick said they're going to sign a horrendous number of
course they
players this summer, but can you really do that? Like, you can't just...
He's not even going to be in Europe. He's not going to get into the European Cup anyway, is he?
They're not getting into the European Cup. Pogba looks like he's off.
Thank you.
Ronaldo could well leave. Ronaldo could well retire, I actually think, considering what's happened to him this last week and how the season has gone.
We've made a little bit of fun of him, all right, in that it was a bad decision by United. But the fact, I think he's too good for Man United. I feel sorry for him, actually. Yeah. I feel sorry for him. I think to go to a club like that in that state. Should we get on with the Manchester United managers since Sir Alex Ferguson quiz? See how you get on.
Go on then.
Okay, the Manchester United managers since Sir Alex Ferguson quiz. Okay, who was the first Manchester United manager to win a major trophy for the club following Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement? I can read names if you wish.
Nah, I reckon I've got it. Van Gaal.
United won the FA Cup in 2015-16 season under Van Gaal. Well done. That's first. 2. Who was the first player to score a goal for United following Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement? Do you need names?
Yeah.
Welbeck, Giggs, Valencia, Robin Van Persie.
Van Persie.
That's correct. And he scored the first goal in a 4-1 win at Swansea under David Moyes. Okay, when Manchester United won the 2016 FA Cup final, their first trophy following Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement, who was sent off in extra time of their 2-1 win over Crystal Palace? Rojo, Smalling, Blind or Lingard?
Rojo.
Wrong. Defender Smalling was shown a second yellow card in extra time for hauling down Balassi. Okay. United's last trophy was the 2016-17 Europa League, won under Mourinho. Paul Pogba opened the scoring against Ajax, but who scored United's second goal in their 2-0 victory in Stockholm?
Rashford.
Should have waited, mate. It's, oh my god, Henrik Mkhitaryan?
Mkhitaryan?
Yeah.
Oh, I would never have said that.
Okay, question 5. This is your last one then. When United's official Twitter account tweeted that MUFC must improve in a number of areas, including passing, creating chances and defending, which manager were they paraphrasing?
In what year, sorry? Do I get the year?
No. Van Gaal, Mourinho, Moyes or Solskjaer?
Van Gaal.
No, Moyes. Do you want another one?
No, they're too difficult, mate.
They're too difficult.
Yeah,
well, you got, what was that, 2 or 3, was it?
Well, like last night the rain was knocking on my window. I moved across the darkened...
Free kicks. Now, just to say that the figures are a year old on this, because it was easier to sum it up till then. But somebody scored another free kick today. And who was that person?
Ward Prowse.
And people keep going on about him and his free kicks. Well, just how impressive are his free kicks? Here we go. In the Premier League, only 5.5% of free kicks direct free kicks turn into goals. Okay, that's 1 goal every 18 free kicks. That is a 0.45 shots per team per game. That's 1 goal for the team every 34 matches. So when we all go, great, we've got a free kick, this is rather like the corners, in that if you're 1-0 behind and you get a free kick, it wastes the time that you could have been having a go at scoring. Because the chances that you're going to score, you've got 1 chance a season that ball is going in the net, on average. Okay?
Which is rubbish.
So it's almost pointless, except for just a few players. Now, in the last 28 years since the Premier League started, only 8 players have scored double figures. Now I think you might find it's 9.
Are you wanting me to guess?
No. I'll tell you, you tell me who scored the most.
Beckham.
David Beckham. He scored 18. There's only 8 players to have double figures, and one of them is David Beckham with 18, the top free kick goal scorer. Now, old Prowse, what's his face, has scored 14 as of today. He's closing in on David Beckham's record. Now, obviously, to measure how good free kick goal scorers are, whatever, is difficult because you have to work out, is they had sort of 2 seasons at it or 10 seasons at it. So in fact, the guy for Southampton is actually doing better than David Beckham because of the less seasons he's done it in. Then we can find, okay, so let's take a look, therefore, to find out who really is that good at serious threats. Let's say they score 3 in a season on average. Okay, so how many people have scored 3 in a season? In the last 27 years, that is 546 games, only 38 players have scored 3 free kicks in a season. Not many. Not many.
No.
That isn't very many, is it? Hardly any. I mean, we're looking at Jacobson now, thinking, bloody, he don't score, got to sort of give that up. But the fact in one game he scored 2 corners was just unbelievable. I mean, that's just not real. Now, between 92, 93 and 97, 98, there was only one player who actually scored more than 3. And that was a guy called Rick Holden. And guess who he played for? Oldham. There's your link. There's your link. So let's take it from 3 to 4 in a season to get that to get that 38 players down. And we've got only 7 players scored 4 in a season. Okay, and 3 of them did it twice, which was Beckham, Zola, and Ronaldo. The others was a guy called Robert.
Robert?
Yeah. He
Robin or?
No, Robert. He then went to PSG, so I don't know who he is. And then you had Hart. Who did he play for? Harte, West Ham, wasn't it? Yaya Toure and Hasselbank. So there's 2 different types of free kicks. One is your whip free kick, which is a top spin, a curl, and a dip. Yeah, that's what everybody used to do. And then you have the next one, which is much more popular now, and that's the one he scored today, for instance, was a knuckleball. That's where you just whack the buggers and hope that they go somewhere near the goal.
Well, you whack it and you hit it with a certain part of laces so that it has that kind of movement on it. Yes,
but you don't put any spin on it.
No.
But you want it to fly through the air like so. Well, the trouble is that knuckleballs aren't going in quite so well as whips, because whip took a skill, knuckleball not so much so. So somebody like Ronaldo, for instance, where he used to score 1 every 13.4 attempts, he's now only scoring once every 20.9, and that's lower than the average for most people. So he's actually scoring less and less, in fact worse than most. He actually took 27 for Juventus, for the previous club, and he didn't score any. Bale changed his technique from a whip to a knuckleball, and when discussing with him why, was because he scores a few. Why? He said, "But a bit more fun, that's all." And that was his reasoning. That was it. He enjoys it more. It looks better when it goes in, but of course, he probably doesn't score as many as he used to. But he enjoys it.
That kind of suggests the how unlikely it is to score a free kick that players are just like, oh, I'll go for that one.
Yeah, it's so unlikely that they'd rather just whack the bloody thing because it looks better if it does go in. That is the quality and the skill. When they all stand there with their feet apart and all sort of, you're looking, so I say, I bet Bale might look as serious as he likes, but the fact is he just belts the bloody thing, and me and you could do that. And that's as much skill as he thinks it takes. Sometimes
Bale,
one in a blue moon,
yeah.
it'll go in and he'll look like a superstar.
Bale is a bit of a weirdo, though, so that might not be the case for everyone.
Okay, now for the failures. Rashford, taken 34 and only scored 1 goal.
I remember it as well because everyone couldn't stop going on about it.
Watford have not scored a direct free kick since 2016. And Harry Kane has attempted 22 and not scored any.
What, in his career?
Huh.
Weird at that, considering how good he is at pens.
Teams, though, just to say that the goals from free kicks are going down. So the percentage going in from a free kick is lower than ever. But the conversion rate, the goals from free kicks has gone down, but the conversion rate has gone up. So they're taking less, but the ones they do take go in. Okay. But the free kicks, the shots from free kicks have gone down as well. This basically means that defenders are no longer fouling people on the edge of the box. So there aren't as many when they get them, which are pretty rare. There's not going to be many go in anyway. Very few on target. Goalkeepers are better than they used to be. In fact, goalkeepers and people that take free kicks now study them like they did penalties. And today, what's his name? Prowse?
Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse. It's worth taking a look, if you can get to see it, what happened when he scored his free kick. And it was on the corner of the 18-yard box, the foul. He moved that free kick to almost the centre of the football pitch to take the free kick. So that the goalkeeper wouldn't know where that ball was going. Because now it could go anywhere. Whereas if it'd been in that corner where it should have been taken, the goalkeeper would have saved it, whatever. So in fact, he cheated. It's like having the penalty and moving it and putting it on the line was what he did. So that's how he scored it, because he took it from the best place. And he took it from the best place because that wasn't where the free kick should have been taken.
It's not that great a free kick, to be fair.
No, he just knuckle watsed it.
No, it's a whip. It's a whip.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, look how side on he is. He has to whip it, but it goes through the wall.
Yeah. And, never has anybody laid behind that wall been smacked in the face yet. I think it's worth a go sometime.
Well, it's because, they have that player there just so that they don't do it ever. I think one person definitely did. I think it was a Champions League game. Suarez went for it and he hit someone. But that's the only time I've ever seen it happen.
So there you go. What do you reckon to that then?
Free kicks?
Yeah. Direct free kicks.
It'd be nice if there were more goals from direct free kicks, so they do look very aesthetically pleasing. But yeah,
it's worth though, isn't it? The defenders bringing them down.
Oh yeah, the chances of them scoring are
worth a yellow card every day of the week.
Yeah, definitely. But the likelihood is a lot less, isn't it?
Because once the player gets that ball into the penalty box, the XG rate is so high compared with
Yeah.
a direct free kick, but you got to take them down every time.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think that's pretty disappointing because all I've done to prove to myself that corners are a waste of time, direct free kicks are a waste of time, and that the only way you're going to bloody score a goal is by running up there into the box and whacking it.
That's how boring football is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and don't whip it, just whack it in the hope that, and then it'll look good.
Well, I scored a few in my time. I scored one for school. That was a big moment.
There were a few other things I wanted to chat about, Kieran, but we won't. I do want to finish on a high, on a good thing, and I want to spend 2 minutes only discussing your five-a-side football.
My five-a-side football.
I was reading something the other day where somebody said they play five-a-side football, and he could not believe it when one of his teammates shouted, "You need to press." So is things like you need to press coming into five-a-side football?
Oh, there's so many variants of five-a-side football, such as the biggest thing you can have in five-a-side football is fitness. If you are fitter than the other team, you will more often than not win. Our game the other day, everyone was gone after 10 minutes, and so we lost. Pressing, teams rarely pass the ball around the back, and so you never really have to press. But if they do pass around the back, then everyone's automatic response to the head is just like, "Oh, we need to go and press." But of course, there's ways to press, and there's ways to do it properly, and of course you don't practice, so no one knows how to do it properly, and then you just get played around.
Can I ask you something? And that is, when your team turn up and there's another team on that pitch, and your time is now, and they're still on there, how do you ask them to leave? Do you have problems?
Well, no. So the one that we go to is like an organized five-a-side place, and so there's a ref for each game, and the ref will tell them to bog off or do this or that. Yeah.
Do you have arguments with the referee about height of the ball?
Yeah,
because the rules are above head height, but you're all different.
Some of them they do that. Ours is you're not allowed to head it.
Ah, right, okay.
To make it a little bit easier, you can have the ball as high as you want, but you just can't head it.
Okay.
But there was one guy the other day. We were just watching the teams who were on before us, and one team was about 10-0 up. And before the game finished, one bloke just grabbed his bags and walked off. And then when the rest of his teammates came off as well, they're all shouting, "Oh, let's go pick up handbag then." And they refer to him as handbag.
Do you have a nickname?
Just Kez.
Right. Okay.
Or just Tank or something like that. Yeah.
Tank.
Kez,
Tank.
Well, yeah. I have Moose, Tank, Kez, Turner. Yeah.
Right. And have you ever heard the excuse the pitch looked dense?
No. I mean, five-a-side pitches generally are quite small, so can't really use that excuse.
Okay. Right. Shall we give that a miss now? Is that the end as we know it? With one game to go, and we'll find out. Well, we say one game to go, but a bit luck, there'll be more than one, yeah?
Well, will we get in the playoffs, Dad? That's the question.
What do you think?
My gut is telling me no. My heart is telling me yes. So I think no.
I think we'll do everything we need to, but the last month or two, every game just seems to, everybody else's games seem to come out wrong for us, and
we're relying on a lot.
We are relying on a lot, and I can just see Plymouth beating Milton Keynes.
Yeah, they're at home as well.
So, yeah. But, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. And then we get the opportunity of thrashing Derby next year, don't we?
Indeed.
Indeed. Okay. Next week then. We'll look at these record signing success rates, and we'll give sort of 10 or so really big signings. We'll give comments on whether we think they've been a success or not. Just say Mo. I did make my comments on The Athletic about what I thought about Mo going for his money, and I got lots of hands up in my comments, and interesting to say that I would say 95% of Liverpool fans doing their write-up on Mo asking for more money, even though he says it's not about the money, it's about being loved or something stupid like that. Most of them want him to go. 95% are saying, sorry, Liverpool are bigger than you. Isn't that interesting? Well, they wouldn't have said that before the African Cup of Nations.
Probably not, no.
But they are now. They see that they can actually do it without him.
Which I agree with. Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, this is Liverpool, mate. Don't you
I think people who would go for him as well would be a bit careful because of his age and because of his tendencies to have these dips in form.
And this dip, you see, what's annoyed people, this dip is now. And they think it's caused because he's getting a bit annoyed about his money.
I don't think that's true, but
they're just telling him, get on with the bloody game, mate, and try and score a goal for us. And
I don't think he's not trying to score, but I just hope he's been very good recently.
Anyway, on that, we'll leave that, and we'll come back next Saturday and see what Sunday evening, and see where we are, Kieran.
Indeed.
So, remember, Al Stewart and Kieran, say goodbye. Oh, he's frozen. He's obviously wanting to leave already. So I'll say goodbye. Goodbye.